Really, really proud of our kids and their fight tonight, especially in the second half, like coming back and keeping their composure. I am even more excited that I was able to use my post-game speech part B and not part A, because part A was not PG-13. So really, really, really excited about just their effort. I mean, we just kind of start being ourselves. It seems like in the first half we were just kind of playing on our heels and hesitating and not being who we are, both defensively and offensively. So I know that they had a conversation with themselves, just to kind of get back to who they are. And then our strategy was just to chip away at the lead. If we could take 10 off of that 18-point deficit, then we could put ourselves in a position to win, and they did exactly that.
Coach, what was halftime speech part B?
Oh, well, no, I was totally composed because I didn't want them to think that I was panicking, but I was saving it for post-game had it not turned out the way it did this evening. But again, it was just that we can get ourselves back into this game if we chip away at the lead, if we get stops, if we, with our stops, score, and we chip 10 away and we're going into the fourth quarter down 8, that we're in a great position and we can win this game.
Coach, and then also most of the shots in the second half were 2-point shots. Was that sort of the focus to attack the rim in the second half?
I didn't hear the first part.
Most of the shots in the second half were 2-point shots. Was that
Yes.
sort of the focus?
Oh, no, that was the focus at the beginning, too. It's just that we did it in the second half. It was. I mean, just because, we had watched, we've watched hours of film and we knew what was available. And, like, sometimes we get just a little jump shot happy and just kind of get away from, like, who we are. Like, we have kids that are incredible in their skill set and being able to get to the basket and finish at the rim. And it's why so many teams play us in zone so that we're not able to get to the basket. But when the opportunities presented themselves in the second half, we were more intentional about getting to the basket and scoring at the rim.
Hi. So what did you do differently? I know things started turning around a little bit in the second quarter, but it was incredible. They're shooting, and they had 9 3-point shots in the first half, and then they went 4 for 10, I think, and only 1 was in the last quarter. What did y'all do to really to slow them down as much as you did?
We played defense,
Yeah,
we'll say that, but
defense.
Jocelyn can give us some more in-depth.
Yeah, I think halftime, Kelsey had, 20 points? So I think we said she was too comfortable. We were there but weren't crowding her space, making her put it on the floor. So just telling the players, run her off the line. Even though we're getting through the screens and are there, she's too comfortable. So make her do something else rather than doing what she was doing. And you saw when she started to drive a little bit, we had help side there, running into traffic. We started doubling a little bit, putting more pressure on them. So I think we just were able to speed them up rather than let them be comfortable doing what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
Jocelyn back here. I know when you're in a hole like that, I know you guys have been in spots like that before and have come out of them, but like Tina was talking about chipping away. Is it hard not to try to do too much and just kind of keep chipping away and working on it?
I think in some instances we find ourselves doing things that are out of our element, and that puts us into a little bit of a deeper hole. But I think at the end of the day, there is no 20-point play. And we realize that. I think when we start, rather than focusing on offense, like, oh, we have to score, focusing on getting stops. Because if we're not scoring, they're not scoring either. And so I think having that approach, it makes it more realistic when you're chipping away and you're like, okay, now we're down 10. Okay, now we're down 5, and it starts to feel more real. And then you're like, okay, this is the game right here, and just work with that rather than thinking, oh, we have this huge deficit, we're not scoring. No, you need to stop them from scoring first.
Kind of along those same lines, but at what point were you like, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to get back in this game?
I knew from jump that we were going to win this game. Not to sound overly confident, but I really did. Yeah. And especially after the technical foul, when Josh knocked down those free throws, we came together as a team and we just said, like, we got this game. Like Josh said, like, chip away, focus on our defense, do what we do, and just, come out with this win.
And then, Tina, I know it's kind of a recurring theme, but the maturation process of a young team, what kind of a step is a game like this coming back like that?
Oh, huge for us. I mean, just because the things that we talk about, our kids can actually have like a visual kind of like guide of that. And that there has been several games where we've gotten behind by quite a bit, and we fought to be back in the game, but then it's like we're losing by a 2-point deficit, or a 5 or 7 or 8 point deficit. But this one we kind of literally came back all the way and we finished it with a W. The message is that let's not create these holes for ourselves that we have to fight back, but the fact that we have the ability to do so is something that they know. And when you approach games, especially in the ACC, and you have kind of like a place of knowing and what is possible because you've made it happen before, it's helpful. But we have to do a better job of starting, with who we are and finishing the game in that way. And when we do that, we've been very successful.
Dominique, I think you had 6 consecutive points after you trailed by 4 at the end of the game. Can you take me through the 3 and then the 3-point play?
I think that towards the end of the game, a lot of teams start to head towards Joss because she's our scoring leader, and that leaves pockets for us, other people on the team, to get their points and their runs. And somebody, I don't know who it was that kicked out the ball to me, but as soon as I caught it, I knew that ball was going in. I felt comfortable. I was in my rhythm. And then when I got on the wing, they were over-helping, so I usually come up with pick and rolls, and I like to get to the basket or I hit my post player, and they overly help. They help too much, and I saw the lane, I just went. It's kind of not something you really think about. It's just playing the game and a feel for the game.
And then Jocelyn, you had 19 in the second half. Miami had 22 as a team. What went so well for you in the final 20 minutes?
I think as a team, we just started playing together more. I think I definitely was able to feed off our energy, getting stops and being hype in that moment, but then coming down and being aggressive on the other end. I said to myself at halftime, I wasn't getting to the free throw line enough, and I think as a team we weren't. So doing a better job of like posting up or driving and putting them in that tough position to either foul or score is just something that I think had to adjust for the second half, and that worked out well for us.
Any last questions? All right, congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Go Hoos.